Hey there, YouTubers. So, part of what I do is work on the 4D meme. I have a company, 4dsolutions.net is the website, 4dsolutions.net. And the 4D I'm playing off is owing to 4D time lock, which is a pretty early 1900s work wherein dirigibles would carry actual multi-story towers to their final destinations. These towers were like tension maintained, they hung on a pole, they already have cranes to lift stuff in. These were never tried. They were artists' conception. They were way ahead of their time. We could try it, we could still try it. I'm not saying there's anything bad about the idea. It morphed after that into the Dymaxion house, and only much later did it become the geodesic dome. It's not like these are all mutually exclusive. There's an evolution, there's a history, and if you went to the university and you didn't learn about this timeline, and they still want you to pay back the student loan, well, did you really get what you paid for? I'm going to let you think about that. So, because this is basic history, right? If you don't know about the Dymaxion House in the Henry Ford Museum, you know nothing about America almost. And it's like, I'm surprised you think you're a citizen. But maybe you do know about it, right? So I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying there are some things that you don't go to the university and not learn if you're paying them money. So what I wanted to talk about, though, was some studies in corporate anthropology that I did a long time ago around Procter and Gamble versus Unilever versus Cuba, a triangle. It's kind of like a soap opera, right? In other words, the United States is being used to tromp on Cuba ever since the Spanish-American War. There's still a big base there. You can't deny that Cuba's oppressed. They won't take the rent. They don't want the base there, obviously, but what choice do they have? The U.S. is huge and powerful and basically kicks people around a lot. So, and then on that base, there's the ongoing camp, torture camp, whatever. But it's a big base. It's good for R&R. There's lots of happy campers there. Okinawa is another one like that. So it's like the military would be loath to give up one of its favorite destination locations, right? So anyway, that's some of the history since the Spanish-American War. And so being that Cuba's tromped on, it's not like Procter and Gamble was going to sell them a lot of toothbrushes and shaving equipment and stuff, because then living standards would appear to rise, and that makes socialism look good, and that's against the rules. So Unilever, not being an American company but owning Ben and Jerry's, they didn't have those kind of restrictions, being Europeans. Just like today, the Europeans will do business with Russia however much they want, right? It doesn't matter what Pompeo says. Nobody's listening. So that's an interesting development, but it's always really been that way. So Unilever would do more business with Havana after, the gambling industry had to recreate itself in Las Vegas after it had Havana, and that was perfect. There would not be a Las Vegas as you know it today had it not been for the Cuban Revolution. And that's what the U.S. is still sore about, even though, that's not the Spanish-American War, and that's not how Cuba became almost like a territory, like Puerto Rico. And don't forget that it was after World War II that more territories were added on the model of Puerto Rico. We're talking about think about Palau, Marshall Islands, and what's happened since, right? Compact of Free Association. You may not know that history like I do, but I come from that area and have been to the university, so I do know a lot, but not about everything, just about some things. All right, support public education, study hard, you're the public. Talk to you later.